Also, it should be noted that the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. And guess who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt, despite the fact that he publicly totally does not share in their beliefs, guys. I'm just saying.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Alright, so there's this guy on YouTube called Wendigoon, and I'm sure you guys have seen him before, or at least heard of him. And I'm not too familiar with his content, I'm gonna just keep it real. I've definitely seen some here and there. The reason why I'm making this video in the first place, well, it's for two reasons. Number one, there's this sad, pathetic Walmart discount Noah Simpson who made this horrible video, and he has Wendigoon in the thumbnail, Kevin Spacey, Ben Shapiro, and others, right? Now, in case you guys couldn't tell, extremely left-leaning. I have a problem where you throw crazy accusations against this guy. Not only does he go after Wendigoon, he also goes after people like Mudahar, Turkey Tom, and Brandon Buckingham, and uses a picture of his sick grandpa as an example for him. Like, this guy is such a weirdo. I've made videos calling out people, some good, some bad, but not once have I ever been like, I don't like this person because he grew up rich or he had money growing up. Like, this guy is extremely salty and jealous, and it's pathetic. Just slandering Wendigoon and just going after him for absolutely no reason. The original video was about 3.5 hours long. It's been cut to 2:45 to remove that part because he was getting a lot of backlash, a lot of criticism.
Wendigoon is a horror conspiracy theorist YouTuber with several million subscribers that, as you will hopefully come to see, should not be seen as the wholesome, southern, friendly dad persona that he has publicly constructed around himself in the past several years. And that, like many people who talk about being Christians as much as he does, has a dark past with deep ties to far-right extremism. On a base level, his work has never been of personal interest to me. We share a similar focus on topics that we like to write about, but our similarities basically end there. I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire who got famous around the age of 19.
Calling someone out because they got successful at 19 and they hit millionaire status at 19 or 20, whatever, to me, it just comes off as extremely salty. Guys, I'm the same age and I'm broke AF. Can't make money on YouTube. I make like 500 bucks.
There was a month last year where I only made $500 in ad revenue. I can't live off that. The amount of times that I've almost had to stop making videos since then has been almost monthly. I've barely been able to keep this afloat.
Broke nigga alert. Broke nigga alert. Broke nigga alert.
What does this have to do with exposing Wendigoon? It's like, this guy is just going after Wendigoon for two reasons. He's salty, he's broke, and because he has no friends. 40 seconds in, and I'm already like, what does this have to do with anything?
To hear 5 hours of opinions on Blood Meridian from a 21-year-old millionaire who got famous around the age of 19. And I know that is probably the most boomer thing that I have ever said. Apologies for that. But I say that to argue that I really do think that there are some works that are really not intended to hit the right way until we are older. There are some works that fundamentally will not be understood by you if you are wealthy and have always been upper class your entire life. And this may all sound condescending, but that doesn't stop it from being somewhat true.
You are salty that you're a broke boy. Can we please get the broke boy alert going?
Broke nigga alert.
Who cares if he grew up rich, if he grew up poor? Why does that matter? And I get it, he's an extremely, and I mean extremely political YouTube channel, and he can only see one side or the other. But this part just seems unnecessary. This segment is like 35 minutes long, and he spends the first 2 minutes being like, oh, he grew up rich, and you're like 21 years old. What do you know about horror, dude? Like, you know nothing. Oh man, I'm older than him and I'm not as successful as him. Ugh.
And that to think that you shouldn't be able to say or publish whatever you like at any point in your life. You're obviously free to do so. And I also don't want it to be seen as if I'm talking down to young people, because I'm not. Politically, they are frequently the most with it, and their voices should be heard on issues that pertain to them. They are looked down upon too often in our culture. What I'm talking about here pertains to the very act of writing itself, and with that, perspective. And I don't know if you can actually really truly be a good cultural critic with a voice that has a definitive perspective, without several years of genuine, independent, lived experience away from the home that you were raised in. And in his case, he became exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20.
Oh my god, he keeps bringing it up. Bro, stop hating and get your bread up. Bro, you're just jealous you have no friends. I think that's really it. I think this guy's just mad that he has absolutely no one to hang out with. And like, how old is this guy? 45? Why is a 45-year-old man beefing with like a 20-year-old, 21-year-old? So today we're gonna be talking about this guy, Wendagooner, and like, he's just rich and he came from a wealthy family, and it's just like, I'm broke and I make $500 per month on YouTube because I suck and I fell off. Yeah, I guess I'm totally not jealous. Now let me bring up the fact that he's wealthy like 4 different times within 2 minutes, just to really drive the point home that he's a rich guy who shouldn't be talking about horror because horror is left-leaning political, and Wendagooner represents capitalism. Am I sounding insane? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's how he sounds. These people are so annoying, obnoxious.
And in his case, he became exceptionally wealthy by the time that he was 19 or 20. And so if you leave the home and immediately become famous and rich, without having to ever actually truly struggle, can you be considered to have ever actually had lived experience at all that would qualify you to give criticism on works of art about the experience of average and poor people?
If I ever make a video this bad, I've definitely dropped some bad videos in my past, right? There's like over 1,000 videos. Some of them are not going to be good. Some are not going to be cooking as high. You know, that's normal. When you're producing that much content, you're going to have some not so good videos. If I ever make a video this badly, I want everyone to reach out to me via Instagram or Twitter and tell me to delete that shit. Okay? I'm not kidding here, because this is embarrassing. And the slandering hasn't even begun. You're just saying, rich boy, rich boy, rich boy, you can't talk because you're rich, yeah, and I'm broke.
Experience at all that would qualify you to give criticism on works of art about the experience of average and poor people? I would argue not. And if that is the case, why would your perspective matter as a critic? Not to mention the fact that Wendigoon was raised in a very wealthy family, and with that comes from a wealthy perspective. He himself has inadvertently admitted that his family at one point had millions of dollars. When he said once on stream, "Would you believe me that when my dad was young, he used to be in an organized crime gang and is now a Sunday school teacher? Very wild life that guy's lived. He was in an organized crime gang that my grandfather ran. A lot of bad things went down. They got investigated by the FBI. My grandpa went to jail. My dad had to testify and tried to take up the business. The business fell apart, and he ended up losing millions of dollars to the state. Lost everything, found God, became a Christian, and is now both the best man and the best Christian I've ever met."
So he had a redemption story. He did some shitty stuff, and then he lost it. He got back on the grind, found God, religion, whatever. Am I supposed to hate him? If anything, I respect him a lot more because of where he came from, and then he lost everything, and then he rebuilt. Is that supposed to be like, I got you? Take a shot every single time he's brought up the fact that he has money. And by minute 5, you're gonna be drunk out of your mind like you haven't been in a long time.
I'm not even here to criticize his body of work. I think his videos are very uninteresting. But ultimately, that is secondary to what makes him worth talking about. The first of which are the very strong beliefs that he seems to hold as important, that are in my opinion the antithesis of what horror should be about. There are many things that are red flags that we could talk about, from the bizarre gun ownership, the flagrant use from my perspective of his religion as a shield from criticism, to the belief that he at one point followed many far-right accounts on Twitter, from Kyle Rittenhouse to Parler, the social media website where the January 6th insurrection was in part planned. People said, oh, he only followed them. But that doesn't mean that he agrees with them. But there are screenshots of tweets that may have been deleted. They clearly, in my mind, show a support to Rittenhouse. Although, since I did not take these screenshots, they do have to be taken with a grain of salt.
I think it's obvious to everyone here, but if you follow someone or something as a content creator, it doesn't mean you're endorsing it. Maybe you're a content creator, you're like, I'm gonna talk about this cringy shit. Following does not equal endorsement. Once again, especially as a content creator, what are we doing here? And then he cites this could be a meme. He knows what he's doing. He's trying to label him as a horrible person, right-winger. Dude, he likes guns. Who the fuck cares? I like guns. Does that mean I'm gonna be collabing with Ben Shapiro next? No. No, I absolutely fucking not. Just because you like guns doesn't mean you're a crazy right-winger. This is just sad. Imagine your life being this fucking miserable.
But in relation to everything else that we're going to talk about here, to me it seems to fall in line with his general beliefs. These have been widespread across the internet, and to my knowledge, I can find no examples of him directly saying that these are not real. So he may or may not have actually followed these accounts or supported them. but I do not believe that he has ever outright said that this did not happen, so take that as you will.
So this is one of those damn if you will, damn if you don't type situations. Wendigoon doesn't like talking about politics. He tries to stay away from that, which is something that I think a lot more YouTubers should do. Like, shut the fuck up. You're here to make content. We don't care about your political beliefs. It's just something that I try to follow as well. Here we don't talk about politics. I'm not here to lecture you guys because at the end of the day, I'm a fucking YouTuber. I make content for the laughs. I talk about genuinely whatever the fuck I want and whatever I find interesting. And sometimes I make videos that people agree with 1000%. Sometimes I make videos that people don't agree with. And that's awesome. That's the whole point of this. You're not going to agree with the content creator 100% of the time. People really gotta respect boundaries. And if Wendigoon is not a political content creator and he doesn't care about it, why push him or pursue him to do so? I hate that. He's really driving the message home of, look, he's Christian. He has some edgy friends. And he likes guns. He's friends with Turkey Tom, and Turkey Tom said the N-word when he was 15.
We could talk about his past and supposedly being a founding member in an online conspiracy theory group that, according to him, snowballed out of control into being a white supremacist neo-Nazi organization called the Boogaloo Boys. His online username at the time was Boogaloo Boy, and he claims to be the first to have started using it, but that he left the group and became Wendigoon after things started to get out of hand. And this is not a conspiracy theory in itself. Shockingly, he literally has said so in writing. As you'll see, he was just like, oh geez, sorry guys, about starting a violent hate group, guys. Sorry that people got killed. I totally didn't mean to do all that.
But it wasn't his fault. First of all, it's one hell of a reach, okay? Second of all, it's just pure slander. And if you don't believe me, if you think I'm some Wendigoon fanboy, I'll just show you this.
Also, it should be noted that the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. And guess who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt, despite the fact that he publicly totally does not share in their beliefs, guys.
No way he made this connection. Guys, I'm sorry to say this, but I have like 10 Hawaiian shirts in my closet right this second. By that logic, I belong to this group. You guys caught me. This has been my plan to radicalize you guys, to push you guys to the right so we can start killing people. A commentary channel did it all by himself. He said that dead ass. So Wendigoon has shoes on. Guess who else wore shoes? Hitler. What do you think about that connection? I got you, Wendigoon. I knew you were a Nazi. Hitler also wore underwear. I'm sorry to say, but if anyone out here is wearing underwear, you're most likely Hitler's descendant or you're a Nazi. This lovely man said so himself. This is... When I saw this part, I bursted out laughing. I could not believe this guy is a grown-ass man making this connection.
I'm just saying that if at the very least I, in any way whatsoever, somehow accidentally, inadvertently, started a hate group, I wouldn't continue to still dress like them if it were me. It would make me look like I still believed in their cause, and that I just couldn't talk about it because people would publicly get mad at me.
Dude, what if he just likes those shirts? Have you ever thought about that? I like Hawaiian shirts. I'm excited to wear them. What are you on about? What are you smoking? What kind of drugs are you taking? How much heroin are you consuming? Let me see your veins. I want to know how many of you guys right here have Hawaiian shirts. Okay, I see some hands. I see you guys. Okay. You are all Nazis. All of you have killed a lot of innocent people. I am absolutely shocked he made this video.
Over 2 years ago, I was among the first to begin using the term Boogaloo. Originally, it was a rendition of Che Guevara's, not that he was a good person by any means, code word for revolution, and I have always been a proponent of freedom and liberty. I believe in the divine rights of every human, and therefore, aspects of self-independence are important to me. So I began using the word in small settings, and then decided to make a meme page using the name as no one had yet done so. To give you an idea, my name was Boogaloo Boy, and several have pointed to me as being the original and started the Hawaiian shirt thing, as I've always just worn those shirts. However, as the term became mainstream, more ideas began to come into the group. Everything from Antifa members to fascists wanted in on it, and the original idea became muddled and broken. I always meant it as a for the people thing, yet it quickly became something else. To give you an idea, I watched the same news station call it a far leftist movement and a far right movement in the same day. It became something I didn't want to be a part of, and so I left. I dropped the name, took a break, and decided to talk about things I enjoyed like conspiracies and movies, under the new title, Wendigoon.
So it sounds like this is a group that got out of control and he wanted to walk away from it, which he did. What's the problem here? He saw what was going on. He didn't like it. He left. It's over. Like, what is he supposed to do now?
And saying that there was harm and violence perpetrated on both sides is the kind of language that other fascists, like Trump, say to disorient people into not seeing far-right extremism for what it is.
This guy thinks the left can do no wrong. The left is perfect. They've never fucked up once in their entire existence. Now, I don't care how left you are. You gotta accept that both sides have done some very bad stuff. This guy is so brainwashed into thinking the left can do no wrong. The person that he is right now is the same person he criticizes on the right. This guy is an extreme leftist and he's no different from the extreme right-wingers. They're both the same, just on different ends. He's the same people he's criticizing.
And also wants it to be very clear that he is not a political person. But to my ears, this is all conservative doublespeak. And I hope that this is becoming obvious to you as well. In my opinion, there is a regular pattern of behavior there, from supporting Rittenhouse to having multiple ties to other far-right extremist figures, that I think a clear picture is painted that he does not mean this as a communist kind of thing, and seemingly more so means people as a very select group. Wendigoon is very publicly friends with Turkey Tom. They have been seen together on multiple occasions, and I've seen online mentions that Tom was either at his wedding or at the very least was invited. Tom has been accused of using the N-word multiple times in private conversations, including these screenshots of texts.
So this is from almost 6 years ago, and I believe 6 years ago, Turkey Tom was like 15, 16. And on top of that, they're private conversations. So this is just a teen being a teen. Not to be the N-word defender, but it's not like he's, you know, calling a black person the N-word or anything. Is this supposed to convince me to crucify Turkey Tom?
And he's also been accused of saying that the upper tiers of his Patreon were intended for Jews with deep pockets. Wendigoon is publicly connected to the Internet Historian, and has even appeared in his videos. The Internet Historian publicly said that his birthday was April 20th. It is not, and has only said that as a joke because that is Hitler's birthday.
Are we really forgetting 420? Like, weed equals funny? So I guess everyone that celebrates 420 is a Hitler fan. These arguments are so dumb. So he jokingly said his birthday was April 20th. But that's Hitler's birthday. So Snoop Dogg, by definition, must be the biggest Hitler lover of all time.
Publicly friends with Donut Operator, and even retweeted a photograph of the two of them hugging. Donut Operator is a gun-crazed, very far-right YouTuber with 4 million subscribers, whose career consists of him reviewing footage of police officers shooting and killing people. He was once a cop himself, before he made more money making YouTube videos and retired. His content is very pro-state, pro-cop, pro-gun, and pro-death to people who don't share his beliefs propaganda. For example, one of his videos is titled Predator Takes Shotgun to the Face, and features a picture of him smiling in the corner of the thumbnail next to an image of a terrified man about to be executed by cop.
If it's a predator, I don't care. Shoot him twice. Why are all of these YouTubers that look like him, why are they all defending pedophiles? It was Ethan, now it's this. I give it a few months before Noah Samsung makes a video defending pedophiles. What's wrong with this? Predator takes shotgun to the face. I don't care. You harm kids, you try to have sex with kids, get shot. How is this bad? Like, out of all the videos you could have picked from him, you picked this one? Who cares if a PDF file dies? Honestly, does anyone care? Like, what's up with all of these guys out of nowhere defending pedophiles? Like, this is crazy. How can you feel bad for this? Sympathizing with the pedophile? That's wild.
Hi everyone, Donut here. We got a couple of shootings for you today. The main shooting just warms my heart.
And you know, for someone who supposedly is so very anti-government, Wendigoon seems very comfortable with a man who makes his living worshipping violence committed by the state. He's a man of no conviction, claiming to be very against the government and for the rights of the people, while at the same time giving a warm embrace to one of the biggest fascist bootlickers on the internet. And the only thing that one could reasonably gather from this picture of them hugging is that he too is a fascist bootlicker himself. He is publicly friends with Shoe on Head, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist, who has built a career off of lazy anti-woke content, complaining about SJW.
But, I mean, this is her getting married. And if you look at the tweet, it just says congrats.
Who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist.
Now, you can see that this guy put it 3 times on screen. So to the average person who's not paying attention, he could be like, oh, he interacted with her 3 different times, guys. It's like, it's only 1 tweet and he said congrats. This guy is the definition of the nerd emoji mixed with the heart monitor. Like, guys, you cannot be friends with each other, okay? I'm here to monitor your friendships. Like, go outside and get some bitches, you loser.
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening rape. He is friends with oompavile, a gun-obsessed content creator that has taken advantage of Nakado Avocado's mental decline for fame and for money.
God. No way. You cannot be serious. You seen this picture of Brandon Buckingham and his grandpa at the fucking hospital is beyond disrespectful. He never threatened to R-word anyone. If you guys remember, Sneeko and Brandon were having a little back and forth. Okay, they were beefing. Brandon Buckingham never explicitly said, I'm going to R-word women because I'm bored. LOL. No. So it's just taken completely out of context. And on top of that, using a picture of this guy's sick grandpa recovering from the hospital is low. I wouldn't even do this to my biggest enemy. Like, if someone that I made a video on that I don't like, you know, God forbid, their mom is at the hospital or their dad is, and, you know, they do something stupid and I make a video on them, I will never in a million years pull up a picture of their mom at the hospital. It could be Tipster, it could be Ethan, it could be whoever you guys want to name drop. That's low. Like, out of all the pictures you could have picked, you decide to go after this one. He knew what he was doing.
He is friends with oompavile, a gun-obsessed content creator that has taken advantage of Nakado Avocado's mental decline for fame and for money.
Taking advantage of a grown-ass man who willingly participated in this and who broke character. He was in on this. Sure.
Of that has made content with the human trafficker Andrew Tate. He is friends with Mutahar, who argued against Andrew Tate being deplatformed from social media websites, and has recently showcased a great deal of transphobia in his most recent video. He has publicly interacted.
God. Are we going back? Are we really going back to this thumbnail of a horrible, creepy scammer? And this cartoon was in no way transphobic at all. Really, we're still talking about this 2 weeks later. If my life was ever this pathetic, I would become a gun owner.
He has interacted positively with Garant Thumb, who has said, the traditional family should be encouraged and strengthened. I see little to no support from the government.
The criticism against Wendigoon is he follows these people, or he's liked one of their tweets, not this one to be specific, but one of them, or replied to something. That's what I'm gathering. I mean, if you look at my following on Twitter, maybe I'm about to be exposed. I follow Think Before You Sleep. I follow Brandon Buckingham, oompavile. I am cooked. I am a racist Nazi. Oh my God. This is so stupid. Oh, you follow these people so you agree with everything they've ever said. No, this is ass. I'm sorry. I would play the rest of the video, but it's literally the same. Please never upload again. This is just slander, lies, bitterness, and jealousy from Noah Samson 2.0. And once again, if I ever make a video this bad, DM me on Twitter and Instagram and tell me to take that shit down.